So this is like my first time doing a motivational video of like this. People who don't know me personally may assume that I am this outgoing person, but I'm really shy, very timid. Well, not timid, but I'm very reserved. So shooting videos like this is not my MO. But I'm driving on the interstate and a thought came into my mind. And I began to think about how many people that I have encountered and people that have reached out to me looking for advice. How many people truly are not happy with themselves? And if they're not happy with themselves, then they are not happy with their lives. And so I've discovered that in the process of determining whether we are happy or not, is that a lot of us are not happy because we are exchanging our happiness for other people. Or we're trying to accommodate other people. We're trying to accommodate relationships or jobs or our children or our husbands, wives. We're trying to accommodate so many things in exchange for little tidbits of happiness that we it seems as though we are giving away this happiness to the world. I was talking with a friend of mine probably about a couple of days ago, maybe about a week ago, I'm not sure. But he said, how much of your happiness is tied into other people? He didn't word it like that, but that's the general idea of what he was asking. And something like that will make you think, and it will make you begin to take survey of your life. It will begin to allow you to look around and see how much of me am I giving away to accommodate other people, or how much of myself am I giving away to stay on this job. There is always an exchange for something. We live in a capitalistic society. We live in a realm where everything it comes from something. Seed time and harvest, just like the plants we see around us, just like the roads we drive on, the cars we drive, the houses we live in, everything comes from a precursor or a precept. Everything comes from some type of initiative. So there's something that is put out that creates a reaction. And so there's always an exchange going back and forth between information, between ideas, between feelings, emotions. Even in intimacy, there is an exchange that goes back and forth. And so when we consider that concept, we have to consider that likewise in our personal lives, there's always an exchange that's taking place between our happiness
Prepare
and
to turn
else.
right at exit 52 onto I-675 South.
I'm sorry. There's always an exchange that takes place when we are exchanging what we personally love about ourselves in order to accommodate somebody else or something else. And this can go deep. This can explain why we stay in abusive relationships, or this can explain why we will accept certain types of treatment, or this explains why we'll stay on a job.
Turn right at exit 52 onto I-675 South.
This will explain why we'll stay on a job for years and years and years at a time, knowing that we're not happy. And so now we must consider and ask ourselves, how much of our happiness do we really give up and give away in order to accommodate other things and other people around us? Because what happens is that we'll wake up one day 10, 15 years from now, and we'll realize that there's something missing inside of us. And that missing component is because we've spent days and years, little by little, exchanging pieces of ourselves and pieces of our happiness, giving it away in order to receive affection, in order to receive acceptance, in order to receive money. That's when we stay on these jobs for too long, knowing full well that we have something else in our heart that we are passionate about, that we want to do, that makes us happy. And so the message today is, what part of your happiness have you given away in order to receive something in return that adds to your unhappiness? So if that means that if you're sitting at work every day saying, I'm tired of this job, at the end of the day, that happiness belongs to you. And if you're going to work on this same job every day that you can't stand, then that's you exchanging a piece of your happiness every day, willfully at that. But yet you're saying, I'm unhappy, I'm unhappy, I'm unhappy. The key to your happiness is in your hands, and you have the power, and you have the authority, and you have the wherewithal to to take that exchange back, to cancel that transaction and say, no longer will I hand over my happiness in this manner and receive something that's stressing me out, or to receive something in return that's not fulfilling me.
Please
And
follow
so
the road
now
for
that is your
15
question.
miles.
And that is your assignment for today, to ask yourself, am I happy? And if you can say, I'm not happy, then you have to begin to take inventory of why you're not happy, and then see the little exchanges that have taken place over the years, that where you have exchanged your happiness over and given it over to other people, or given it over to other circumstances or situations, and you haven't gotten anything back in return. Those are the types of investments that we have to start considering within our lives now. That if I'm waking up every day saying that I'm not fulfilled, then I have the authority to discover why I'm not fulfilled. I have the power to understand why I'm not fulfilled, and I have the direction within me to change why I'm not fulfilled. So no longer can we wake up and say we're not happy. Because at the end of the day, the reasons we're not happy is because we have given our happiness away, because we have settled for things that we shouldn't settle for, or because we have stayed in things that we're not supposed to stay in. At one point, something could make you happy, but 10 years from now, that same thing that made you happy then can no longer make you happy today. And you have to be wise enough, and you have to be mature enough to be able to stand up and say, this no longer serves me any purpose. And so every day that I stand in something, or that I connect with something or someone that is depleting my happiness, I am doing nothing but sending myself to an early grave. I may live physically to be 85 years old, but I would have died by the time I was 45, because all of my happiness, everything that makes up me, would have been freely given away because I decided to stay, or to stay in, or to deal with something or someone that I shouldn't be dealing with in the first place. And so, given all that, begin to look around and consider the areas that you are not happy in, and ask yourself, what can I do to change this? Or what can I stop giving of myself to change this situation? And I guarantee you that by the time you complete that exercise and you actually do the work, you will find yourself in spaces where you are happier than you have ever been. Take it from me. I know when you take control over your happiness and you begin to stop yielding to things that make you feel unhappy, you'll find another level of life that you've never seen. Because it is not our intent to live a life where we are not happy. And so if you're not happy, then it's your responsibility to change that. And you have to begin to look back and take inventory over your life, over your circumstances, over your relationships, over your job, over anything that you feel like you're not being fulfilled in, and begin to see how you can redeem those transactions and get your happiness back. Because at the end of the day, this is something I said in my book, at the end of the day, there's only one person that you absolutely have to lay down with that night, and that person is you. And if you are not happy with that person, then it is your responsibility to do what you need to do to ensure that that person is happy. Because mama don't have to lay down with you. Your children don't have to lay down with you. Even your husband or your wife don't have to lay down with you. Nobody has to be there when you close your eyes at night. Only you have to be there. You are the only person that has to be there. And if you are not happy, then you are the only person that can change that. So that is the message for today. That's the thought that were on my mind. I hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope that you can take something from that and begin to change the trajectory of your life, so that you can begin to be a lot happier about your day-to-day occurrences. Because a lot of us are not happy getting up in the morning. A lot of us are not happy when we're sitting on our jobs at work. There should be a spirit of happiness that sits with you. You might not be happy all the time, but you should at least feel some type of contentment, and not feel sorrowful, or not feel depleted, and not to feel like I'm just living my life going in circles and rolling around and nothing is changing. You have to change the pattern if you want to see a different result. And so I leave you today saying, be happy, go out there and find your happiness. And I say your happiness because my happiness is not your happiness. What makes me happy, or what I accomplish that serves me, will not serve you. So you have to find your own lane, and you have to stay in that lane and create a destiny for you that's going to make you feel fulfilled.